Thanks to the support as a channel member, Peter Waleshko. £6 million to spend. Easy peasy. We do need a 20-goal a season striker, a new left winger, and the right back. We always need a right back. We should probably get a goalkeeper, maybe a new centre back as well. Midfield could do. This might be a busy summer. Hello, welcome to part 50 of the Tour de France. 50 parts in, and we're still in Ligue 1 after the dramatic excitement of the last episode. We have got our transfer special coming up in this video. Normally, it's the season review in the transfer special, but I was so excited. We did the season review at the end of the last episode, if you missed that, because I just wanted to get my budgets. The budgets that we found out. I mean, our transfer budget is higher than the actual balance the club has got in the bank. I'm sure they've got a plan. I mean, we are committed to sensible financial management in this save, as you can see. Very, very minimal transfer debt. Very minimal debt overall, really. We're very comfortable for things like FFP. But that seems a smidgen irresponsible. I suspect what we're likely to do over the course of the summer is start to shift things more in that direction anyway. Commit more to wages and see where we end up. So we'll leave it untouched at the moment, but there's definitely going to be fiddling to be done. One thing to bear in mind, of course, is Cyril Fowry and the potential for him to leave in an enormous deal. In fact, the first thing we should do is offer him a massive new contract. We have survived in the league, so relegation release clause, no longer as much of a big deal. If we get relegated now after surviving once, I don't mind selling him for 15.5 million, but what I want to do is tie him down for 4 years. His value is extraordinary. He's only got 2 years left. I think if and when we do sell him, it should be a big, big deal, and it's not going to be this summer. The other bits of transfer business to remember, of course, Ulrich Nguema is here on loan for 1 more year and not costing us a penny. He had an 18-month loan off the back of his move to Newcastle, so we don't need to worry about replacing him this summer. Oliver Vaquero returns permanently in a £2.2 million deal. That came out of last season's budget, so we don't have to worry about that money disappearing. But we are unlikely to be able to renew Double Steve, who ended the season with 15 league goals, 22 goals in all competitions. We are going to struggle to find another striker with that kind of goal return. Although it is doable. If you remember, the player who actually ended up finishing top scorer in Ligue 1 last year, Le Havre picked up for just £1.1 million last summer. He is going to be moving on to Elche. I mean, if he was French, I'd be in for this guy. He's got French as a second nationality. Hold the phone. I mean, Le Havre have been relegated, haven't they? He's just finished top scorer in the division. Who are this lot? Who are they? Spanish second division? Get out of town. We might be doing some business in the intro. I didn't read what that said. Damn it, man. What did it say? I'm so excited. I asked the agent for a price range and then didn't look at it. Oh, my word. I imagine it ties up with that. I mean, we'll just offer the 1.3 million that someone else has already offered. If we can get this guy outscored Erling Haaland and Jamal Musiala. If we can sign him for 1.3 million, I mean, I don't even know is he any good? I mean, he got 24 goals last year. It doesn't really matter, does it? We can assume, yes, he's probably quite good. Oh, my word, that could be sensational business if we can convince him to sign for us. My point I was trying to make with him is it is possible to pick up a bargain who can go on and become an absolute superstar. That's the kind of caliber of player that we're looking for. That's not the only position we need to strengthen. Noah Lemina, after 4 years on loan with us, is joining Brest permanently this summer, so he is done. And I'm probably not going to renew the loan for David Carter because he's now a 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential defender. I think he was one of our weak links last year, only coming in with a 6.68, only starting 12 games. I love him. I love him with all my heart, but we made our money on him. We've just run him into the ground. I don't think he's ever going to be a Ligue 1 player, and we're never going to be anything less than a Ligue 1 team again. So, David Carter, we wish you luck in your future endeavours. I think he's probably done. And then the only other thing is to monitor Double Steve or something. Imagine if we can keep Double Steve some way, somehow. I mean, we can't at the moment, but you never know. Nice might be nice. If we can sign that other guy as well, goodness me, what a start to the summer that'll be. Vaquero and the league's top scorer coming in for less than half of our transfer budget would be sensational. The other areas we do need to look at, I think the front three, if we get a striker in, we're good. We could do with a backup striker, but we do have Quentin Merlin coming in this summer that is already pre-arranged. He's joining us from Strasbourg, and he can play on the left-hand side or up front. He's probably going to be our Lemina replacement if he's as good as I hope he is, and can also play up front as well. So Merlin coming in. If we get that new guy whose name I still can't remember, and then keep Nguema on this side, or maybe even move Fowry over there if we can sign a better midfield player, or we could even swap Fowry and Nguema over. It's always there as an option. In midfield, obviously Vaquero, Fowry, Traore at the moment is still our record signing as well. I think the three of those are top quality. Merlin can play everywhere. It's like he's magic. Yeah, I'm still giddy for staying in the league. What are you going to do? We could probably do with a proper holding midfield player. I don't think Tom Renault is a Ligue 1 player. Yeah, I mean, he's out of contract this summer. I'm probably not going to give him a new one. I think I'm just going to gamble on bringing in somebody better than him. And then at the back, I think we probably need to write off Deleste. And I mean, not write him off permanently, but he's been here a long time. We signed him when we were down in the third tier, and he did look a little bit out of his depth this season, just gone. I think we need to go all in on Matsima and Big Willie as our centre-back partnership. Cisse and Vita are both fine at left-back, but Van der Merch is not up to it. We need two right-backs and then a proper goalkeeper. So there's lots of business to do. What I'm now going to do is try and sign that goalkeeper, not that goalkeeper, that striker, Mayenda. Imagine. I mean, what else have Le Havre got? Probably not much else any good, because they did get relegated. So who's he? Sale. He's a stunned right back. I mean, scout him. Let's not go straight in, but imagine if we get the two players we need most of all. Both up. I mean, they did narrowly get relegated. If we take the best parts of them and maybe even do a similar job to Clermont, who's their key player, we got to be monsters. Yeah, you're an old man. Although he is a goalkeeper. Hang on. He's a goalkeeper that Hertha Berlin, Udinese, and Torino all want. Are we gonna? I mean, is it wise building the squad completely around players we've stolen off relegated teams? Is this stupid if we go in for him as well? Presumably these guys all want him as a backup. I think we put an offer in just for the sake of having an offer in while we scout him. I mean, everyone else has offered that amount. And then let's see what happens, eh? I'm looking at Dusan Milenkovic again. We've looked at him before. I really, really want him. I'm trying to find, is there any way we can make out that this guy's French? Does he even speak any French? No. He is very, very Serbian. He would be a wonderful signing because he's a better midfielder than Fowry and Vaquero. We can pick him up on the cheap. This is exactly the kind of player you want to sign in the situation we're in. It's baffling that he played 53 times for the Serbian under-23s before making his full debut. But we just can't. Rules are rules. We're doing French only. French only, asterisk. Any kind of French anywhere near them. We've got some of these players who are questionably French. Like, I mean, he's Bosnian, but has lived in France for a bit. And then you've got the likes of Big Willie, who's DR Congolese, but has French as a second nationality. We've got a lot of them as well. We can't sign him. Let's try and get these other ones. That'll make me feel better. Right, we have a slight problem with Mayenda. He wants ridiculous money, absolutely absurd money. I don't mind him having a relegation release clause. We're trying to activate his current relegation release clause here. But I think we're going to struggle to get him. He wanted a match highest earner clause. We can't. I mean, he's going to be earning so much more than anyone else at the club. I suggest he's going to go off to them lot in Spain. We are offering him lots more than he's currently earning. I really hope he's not a one-season wonder. I think for the current top scorer in the league, we have to. I don't mind if it was Erling Haaland at 35,000 a week. I'd probably take him. And this guy outscored Erling Haaland, so that's my basis. Steven Gerrard's been sacked as manager of Nice. Now, that's relevant because that's who Double Steve is on loan from. So, does that mean we can now sneak in and take him on loan? No, it was worth a try. Who's Prevot? Oh, that's the goalkeeper. See, I don't know if I want him or not. I need him to get scouted quick. He's better than Diaz, apparently. We've got him 59% scouted. I mean, we'll make the offer. Is he the best goalkeeper we can get? Probably not. Let's see what else we've got scouted in the way of goalkeepers. We don't need to put an age limit on goalkeepers. I mean, to be fair, value for money wise and ability, he's one of the highest ability goalkeepers we've got scouted. And the rest of these are much more expensive. It probably isn't the stupidest thing I could do. We're just going to raid the other. We're going to make a relegation super team. Oh, he wants a lot of money as well. Oh, all the money's going on players who've already proven they're not good enough to stay in this league. Are we competing with other clubs for this guy? I don't remember if we're competing with other clubs. We'll try a negotiation anyway. I'm on a little bit on the fence about whether I want him. There we go. Are we competing with other clubs? No. So we probably could have gone even lower. I really hope we get Mayenda. Please, please, please let us get Mayenda. Well, that's sad. I mean, it was always going to be a tough one. He is Spanish. He now gets to go back to Spain for the first time in a gazillion years. I'll forever be a little bit frustrated we didn't get him last summer because he just never came up on a scout report. It wasn't as if he was scoring a spectacular number of goals last year. He'll forever be the one that got away. I wonder how much they're actually paying him. We won't find out until the deal actually goes through. Oh, at least we will. We can find out right there. More than we can afford to give him. We don't have that kind of money. Oh, that would have been awesome. Well, after all that early window excitement, we didn't get any of those players. Or in fact, we might get the goalkeeper still. I'm delaying it at the moment while I decide what to do. But two of the youngsters that we pre-signed earlier in the summer have come in, both from Paris Saint Germain, I think. Yunus Ben Seguir, who thinks he's a centre-back at 5'9", or he's a natural left wing back. You know full well this guy is going to be a left back. We'll get him training to play left back immediately. 2-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. And yeah, straight off of Paris Saint Germain. And let's go straight into his training and get him training to play as a wing back. Take over this player's individual training. See, I do training sometimes. And then we've got Yacine Amri, who I've clicked on too many times. Yacine Amri is Moroccan, presumably has French as a second nationality. Good work, past Kev, for checking. I'm sure you probably did. He's also 5'9". They make him small at Paris Saint Germain. I guess they just release the short ones who don't make the grade. He's a striker, not quite so good. Probably never going to be any good for us. Goes straight into our B team. Never to be heard of again. Let's welcome them both in. Tutu is starting to do some excellent ambassadorial work, welcoming players in and also scaring players into not having new contracts, which is handy. And this is interesting. We've now had £1 million plus offer for Luca Diaz, which ordinarily I'd probably turn down as our first choice goalkeeper. But if we're on the verge of bringing this guy in, who's still frustratingly only 59% scouted, despite being my top scout priority, it's just taking forever to get a proper scout report on him. So we're going to have to make a decision now. If we can do a comparison of the two of them, it's very similar to what we had with Majecki last summer, based on this not fully scouted situation where Diaz is the better shot stopper, but potentially Prevot is better at some of the other stuff. He's more physical, he's taller, better mentals, better communication, more eccentric. It's the exact same situation we had last summer. I think we probably need to ask for more money for Diaz. If we can get that up to near that £2.5 million top of his range, it would probably be mad not to take the deal. So let's say, give me 2.5, please. They've come down to 1.4. We'll push for 2.3. Oh, I've 2.3 in total, not 2.3. There we go. See, we've got to accept that. So we're going to let Diaz go. That way, it makes the deal for Prevot, or Prevo, makes sense. Makes the deal for this guy lower risk, because if he comes in and he's not a massive improvement, we can still sign another goalkeeper as well then. And we've basically traded one similar goalkeeper for another who'll ultimately end up being our backup. So I think we probably bring him in the next time we're asked for confirmation. We have still got the Vaquero deal to go through and Merlin to arrive on the 1st of July. Nothing else has really happened since. We're just trying to do some scouting, but our scouts are being painfully slow, as you've seen with that goalkeeper. I have given them a lot of assignments to do, but considering we've supposedly got the best scouting network in Ligue 1, or very close to, I mean, yeah, probably the best ability, not necessarily the biggest. We've only got 10 scouts, but you'd think they'd be able to get some reports back a little bit quicker. We're just kind of waiting for scout reports, while simultaneously waiting for the 1st of July and free transfers to be a thing. Reims stayed up, by the way. They won their playoff. There we go. The deal for Prevo has gone through. He's come in with 3.5 stars of current ability, which is an improvement on Diaz. But remember, that's what they said about Majecki last summer. If we redo our comparison, you can see it is pretty much what it showed before. We're sacrificing a little bit of shot stopping for better communication, better mentals, and those extra 2 inches of physicality, but at the expense of a little bit of eccentricity as well. There's your attribute comparison. For me, the fact we've got more green on the actual goalkeeping attributes and they're big differences, we're just losing a few bits and bobs in the shape of Diaz. But you know what? We're making a profit on this exchange because Diaz is going to leave. We've got a guy in who got relegated last year. It's going to be great. What could go wrong? He's been at Clermont for years. Oh, we might end up regretting that one, but we have made, at the moment, that's our record signing until Vaquero goes through. A 32-year-old goalkeeper. What on earth have I become? Well, we have now sold Diaz for £2.3 million. That's £3.7 million worth of goalkeeper we sold this season, despite never being happy with any of them. Prevo is in, which I think you saw in the last clip, actually. We are trying to bring in another guy, Tituan Thomas. Partly because his name seems to amuse me, and partly because Tom Renault is leaving the club, and I think this is the man I want sitting at the base of my midfield, playing as the deep line playmaker. The fact he's also natural as a centre forward interests me as well, because we obviously haven't yet got a striker. We're going to spend a lot of money on him, but he's got great hair, so that seems okay to me. The league has just tipped over to a new season. The media think we're going to survive or at least beat the automatic relegation positions again this year. The 2 newly promoted teams considered to have a better bet of staying up than we have, which is quite alarming, actually. Troy and Reims. I mean, we really, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a harder job staying up this year than it was last year, especially as we currently have a weaker team. But we do have £8 million to spend now with the transfer shenanigans that have gone on. And we really need to start spending it because we've not really done much so far other than bring Ali Benamara up to the first team squad. 21 years old now, 2.5 star current ability, 5-star potential. If he's ever going to make it for us, he needs to be in the first team squad this season. I think played a full year in the second tier last year. He needs to be taking that David Carter spot as our 3rd, 4th choice centre back. So he's up into the first team squad. We've also moved one of our name in the game boys who actually came through the most recent youth intake. I think we've got another star on our hands. Travis Mantello is 15 years old, but already 2-star current ability, 5-star potential, already massive value. He might just, by the end of the season, force his way in on that left-hand side in what has been the Lemina role in recent years. So those two boys are up in the first team squad. And we're now just waiting the 1st of July. Well, this is unexpected. Manchester United have made an offer for Jerf, our backup goalkeeper. Have they got a French manager? No, I don't know why. I think we can probably push them for a little bit more money. I mean, they've just heard that we're where you buy the goalkeepers from. I think just all the goalkeepers. Let's take the full 110 up front. What I'm trying to get to. We'll take the friendly as well for sure. Yeah, okay, we get a friendly with Manchester United, which is probably worth more than the transfer fee. What is going on? Oh, also, in addition, we have signed Thomas. Thomas is in. There you go. We can have a look at him from here. Titouan Thomas, who is deep line playmaker or can play as a centre mid on attack, which we might be using this season, not just because you lot have all told me to. I'll show you the tweak to the tactic in a second. He can also play as a false 9 or a deep lying forward as well. So if we do end up with a 2-striker system, he could maybe play as the support striker as part of that as well. But really, we've brought him in to play in central midfield. And I don't necessarily anticipate him playing in this role ahead of Fowry or Vaquero. He's almost certainly going to be sitting just there unless Vaquero learns to sit back there because he's a natural ball-winning midfielder. So maybe we teach Vaquero to play a little bit deeper. We probably won't. But the reason we're tweaking the tactic is because Lemina has previously been an inside forward on this side with a wing back on support behind him and then the attacking wing back on this side. We still want him on support. But our right back's rubbish. Let's have him the one who sits a little bit further back. We could even make him a full back on support. Have Cisse or Vita, the two really good attacking options as the attacking wing back. Merlin can be a winger on support just here, and it allows Nguema to be the more attacking one in this band of the pitch. And if we've got a winger staying wide and the other attacker is on the other side, we don't need the Mezzala to be coming the other side of the inside forward anymore. So we can keep him a little bit more central and have him as a centre mid on attack, charging up here, almost playing alongside Nguema. It will leave us a little bit light, wide further forward. One of the reasons I kept the attacking wing back on this side was because Nguema cuts in and it allowed the overlap on that side. But I think it might work. It's a little less balanced. And don't ever tell anyone I actually think about the tactics. I'll lose my reputation as a clueless buffoon. Well, we have made it through to the 1st of July, so a few more transfers have gone through. Vaquero is now a permanent tour player again for the first time in 4 years in a £2.2 million deal. That is a lovely piece of business as far as I'm concerned. Never did get to be the club's record signing because obviously Thomas came in a few days before him, and Quentin Merlin, arguably the best name of a footballer ever. Look how happy he is. He knows how good his name is. And look at that price range. I mean, we've got ourselves a pretty useful left-sided player here. I mean, you know what I'm like. I want to play him at left back despite his 4 tackling, mainly because he's not quick enough to be an out-and-out winger. He might end up living in central midfield for me long-term, where I think he probably will be a better fit, although he's a little bit on the small side. As a 3, one of a 3, he should be fine. We'll figure it out. There are other deals that have gone on. Michael Beagles has gone to Saint Etienne for a little bit of money. The goalkeeper exodus continues. More on that in a moment. Hugo van der Merch, I can hear the roar of excitement from the comment section, has left. He's gone to Bastia for 230,000. Considering how out of depth he looked last year, it's quite nice to turn a profit on him. And Tom Renault has gone to Bridge and Delu has left as well. And we've got a couple of other pieces of business that we are trying to get sorted. Liverpool have joined the race to sign Jerf, offering even more money, also with a friendly. So we're trying to send him to Liverpool. We have offered him back to Manchester United and tried to get a bidding war going. So we'll keep you up to date with Jerf. Ian Gomis is hopefully leaving. We've got a £300,000 offer from Bristol City for him. Zinedine Ould Khaled We've just had a couple of offers come in for him today, so he's on his way out as well. I don't know who this guy is. Who the hell is this guy? Apparently, oh no, I was going to say, have we made an offer for this guy? No, he's just one of our reserves who's leaving. That's why I don't know who he is. Tarek Arconte, who came in last summer, is hopefully on his way out as well. We've accepted an offer for him. We've also accepted offers for Fonseca. And then coming into the club, we finally have gone in for the guy from Le Havre, the right back, Sail Kumbedi, because we don't have a right back at all now. And we might have to switch the tactic back around to have him as the attacking one, considering how quick he is. Although he can't really cross, but we've made an offer for him, so hopefully he will be coming in as well to join this squad that now no longer has Double Steve, no longer has Lemina, no longer has Renault, and Van der Merch, and a few others have now left the club. If we filter this down to just the players with 3-star current ability, it gives us a good idea of the players we should be building the squad around. So Prevo and Besic should be fine for our goalkeeper. Besic is still playing regularly as Bosnia's starting goalkeeper with a great beard. I mean, his beard and hair, that's amazing. Love it. So I think we're fine for goalkeeper this summer. Centre-back partnership of Matsima and Big Willie should get the job done. Deleste and then Ben Amara as a youngster can be the fourth centre-back. I don't necessarily think we need another centre-back. We obviously need a right-back in. There's an argument for a left-back. Cisse and Vita and Merlin can fight it out between them, but Big Willie is apparently the best left-back we've got. Midfield, we know we've got Fowry, Vaquero. We've just spent a lot of money on Thomas, so the three of them are all great. Matsima can play as the holding midfielder. Traore, we spent a lot of money on last summer. And, of course, Merlin as an option in there as well. And then up front, we do still have Baldi. We've not offered him out anywhere yet, but he didn't really look like he was going to get the job done last year. We definitely need a couple of strikers. We're all right on the right-hand side with Fowry and Nguema. And on the left, Merlin should be fine. I don't really want to play Vita there. So we need a few attacking players, maybe some fullbacks. We've got loads of money left to spend. And it's the 1st of July, so let's see what we can get in the way of freebies. Well, we managed to pick up a couple of bargain free transfers, neither of them strikers, though, which is becoming more and more of a problem as the summer goes on. We've just missed out on another one who we'd been waiting for nearly 2 weeks for him to make a decision. I don't know that he'd have been the answer, to be honest, but he's a quick striker, and I'll take anything at this point. I'm thinking we might have to play Nguema, up front, which might not be the worst thing we could possibly do. Maybe playing up there as a complete forward on support and have the wingers run beyond him. Maybe. Not sure. Like I say, we did sign a couple more players. Daniel Frey is Italian, but don't worry. He's got French as a second nationality. We're all good. One of many players who, because I've messed around with the leagues this year, has reappeared, which is actually making it more difficult for me to find players because so many young Premier League players have reappeared and they're just clogging up the scout reports. It's very difficult to find the French players, but because I removed some of the lower leagues in France to stop the second team issue appearing, I was able to convert some of the view-only leagues to playable leagues now, just to make sure they're properly beefed out for when we get into Europe. And it's just brought in a whole load of more players that we can't sign, which is not ideal. I was showing you the other player we brought in as well, didn't I? Another example of that is Valentin De Carpentry, he's a winger, can play on either side, looks pretty decent, hasn't played a game of football in nearly 10 years, or ever, to be honest. He's never played a game of football. Don't know why he reappeared. He was French already. But we've got him in as well. Other than that, we have continued getting rid of some of our fringe players. Our Conti has joined Stade Lavallois for 47,500. Theo Fonseca to Chavez, 75,000. Zinedine Ould Khaled has gone to Toulouse for 170,000. Ian Gomez has gone to Le Havre for 625,000. We're freeing up a lot of squad space, and we're looking good everywhere other than up front. With the two new boys, Kumbedi and Frey, coming in at right back, we're actually stronger at right back now than we are at left back, which is a first for us. Ben Amara can be that fourth centre back we wanted him to be, so he can just slot straight in there. The new goalkeeper looks the part. So I think defensively, unless we see a really great left back, I think the defence and the goalkeeping area is done. Likewise, the additions we've made to the midfield this year, I think, are really useful. Thomas coming in as another option, Vaquero being made permanent, Merlin coming in as well. I think we're much stronger in midfield than we were last year. Out wide, we've obviously got De Carpentry, who can play on either side. Nguema will probably be out there. If not, it might be Fowry if we decide to do something different in midfield and play Nguema up front. We could still do with a really good left winger to replace Lemina, but we've got Tutu, we've got Barcola, we've got Merlin. We've got options on that left-hand side. But the worry is up front, because Thomas is going to be playing in midfield and Nguema's probably playing right wing. Merlin will be playing midfield. Tutu will be a reserve on the left wing. It leaves Ibrahima Baldi as the only option to play up front. And he was here last year and only scored 1 goal. So with our remaining £1.5 million, and to be honest, we've got £50,000 a week of wage budget left. So actually, we could go out and spend probably £3 million on a striker if we could find them. And that's the problem. Finding a French striker who is good enough and will come to us and doesn't then do dirty at the last minute and rush off and go and play for somewhere else is proving to be something of a problem. Double Steve is the obvious one, but he's wanted by Tottenham and Lyon. We can't afford to buy him. He won't come on loan. Sané would have been the next one. We just missed out on him. So now we're looking further down the list. This guy might get the job done. He is someone we could potentially loan. Ibrahim Millet. Can we take this guy on loan, please? Okay. Okay. He might be the answer. He's not fully scouted, so we don't know for sure, but I'm just looking at the fact that he's 6'2", decent jumping reach. He's quick. If he's anywhere near the top of these ranges, he's going to be a superstar. We're already scouting him. So if we can get him in on loan, I'll feel a lot more comfortable. And then Afkir Omar is another young striker. I tell you what, should we just try and get him on loan as well? Just go for both of these. Optional future fee, $5.5 million. I mean, it'll use up the rest of our budgets and then some, paying the 2 loan fees, but 2 quick young strikers in the mould of Double Steve. It's what we need, really. See if we can get those 2 boys in. Well, our 2 young gambles are both in. I don't know if they're... I mean, don't know how I feel about them getting the job done. I mean, this guy looks like he's going to be great. Is he going to be good enough this coming season? Depends how quickly he develops, I guess. He's quick. As well as playing up front, he can play anywhere across the attacking midfield 3. Finishing leaves a little to be desired, but he's quick-ish. And that's important. And then your other guy, arguably a little bit better right now, certainly a lot quicker, which is very handy. A better finisher as well. I think this is probably our striker. Only 5'9", which is the one drawback for him, especially playing as the lone striker. He did get 11 goals last year for the Lyon B team. We need them both to score goals. I don't know why the loan fees haven't come off the transfer budget. I don't know if that's a glitch in the game or what, but we still have budget left. So we've got those 2 guys in as options. We've got a little bit more depth in attack now. We still have £1 million left, where if we find the striker we need, we bring him in. We probably don't need a left winger now, because those 2 guys we just brought in could both play out there if need be. And we've got so many options. The left-hand side in general looks like probably the weak link at the moment outside of centre forward, but we keep looking for a striker. But in the meantime, at least we've got some boys who can play there. And we're not going to have to start Baldi on the first game of the season, which was a big fear of mine. Well, 2 very strange things have happened. Strange thing number 1, we've just beaten Real Madrid on penalties to win a trophy, the Friendly Cup specifically. I have no idea why we've been invited to the Friendly Cup at the Santiago Bernabeu with Huddersfield and Santa Clara, the other 2 teams making it up. I think Real Madrid just wanted to thump a bunch of tiny teams before the season started. Little did they know we were only going to go and beat them on penalties. We've won the Friendly Cup. I mean, that'll do, won't it? I hope they don't decide they're going to take Fowry off me now, who's played very well in the tournament, as has Nguema. We don't need to worry about Nguema. We did get a £9 million offer from Wolfsburg for Big Willie. So clearly the Friendly Cup is where it's at when it comes to getting our players out there. We turned down the offer for Big Willie because I want to use him this year. We can actually use him as a centre-back this year, and there's no reason to sell him, although we've got clubs looking at 3 of our defenders. We might be buying a defender before all is said and done here. Well, as usual, the season starts before the transfer window ends. We have squeezed in one more player alone from our parent club, good old Monaco. I've sent us another midfielder called Fowry, Noah Fowry. He's not likely to get in the team anytime soon, but we figured it's useful to have an extra body around, especially because he can play up front as well. And we kind of needed an extra midfield player. We've let a lot of midfield players go this summer. We've lost Gomez, we've lost Renault, we've lost Lopi has gone as well. There's probably more. Lots of midfielders have gone. We haven't really replaced them all, so it doesn't hurt to have another chap come in. But we do still have 3 weeks of window left, which of course we will do and get the deadline in tomorrow's episode. We've got a little bit of money left to spend as well, so there's definitely some more business that could be done, and there are still clubs sniffing around most of our back four, which is ironic, really, considering how bad we were at defending last year. Upsettingly, Travis Mantello can't be registered for the squad until he's 16. It's the same problem we had with, I think it was with Fowry way back when. I don't think Nguema was ready at this age, but I think Fowry we had in the squad for 6 months before we could actually register him. His birthday's in October, so we'll add him into the first team squad in January. I'm leaving him there for now just to remember he exists, especially because this is the last video I'm recording before TwitchCon. So when I come back and record again in a week, I definitely won't know who that guy is. So he needs to be left in the first team squad. This is the team that I think I'm going to play on the first day of the new season. We're using the slightly amended shape that we talked about before, with Merlin staying a little bit wider and Fowry bursting forward as the centre mid on attack. We're going to play 2-2 for the first game because, you know, got to show a little bit of faith. 29 games last year, no goals, lovely. But we have got the 2 new young strikers sat there on the bench, and they'll be ready to play first team football in no time at all. I just don't want to throw them straight in when they've got absolutely no experience playing at this level. He'll be our starting striker before too long. And if he's rubbish, we've still got money to spend to go and bring one in. Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.